flying. Whee!
Hulk Hogan!
Royal Rumble event begins with a roll call of all who will be participating in the first ever 30-man Royal Rumble match. I know that we didn't have surprise entrants in 1989, but it would still be nice that we didn't know who was going to be competing. Just saying. Also, 70 seconds of announcing wrestler names.
Rockin' Robin taking on Judy Martin.
Gorilla Monsoon announces the WWF Women's Championship match as if it's kicking off the show, despite the fact that we are actually kicking things off with a 6-man tag team 2 out of 3 falls match. Also, now that I think about it, a 6-man tag team match with 2 out of 3 falls actually sounds badass, and now I'm wondering why WWE doesn't do that anymore. Hilarious. Frenchie Martin has a full-size flag, whereas the fabulous Rougeaus have miniature flags.
They have a slight advantage in this match because they can all speak French.
Jesse Ventura believes the Rougeaus and Dino Bravo have the advantage in this 2 out of 3 falls match simply because they speak French. Look at this asshole. Crowd is excited about the Royal Rumble and chanting USA, whereas he looks like he doesn't give 2 fucks about this show.
6-man tag.
This position is looking a little weird. I know it's for Jim the Anvil Neidhart to remove Bret Hart's shades, but Bret looks like he's enjoying it a little too much.
A 3-fall match. And look at this.
Jim and Dino lock up and then decide to walk around in a circle. You couldn't have just done that before the match began, or not at all, preferably the latter.
100 pounds, Gorilla.
Was that a tag right there? I think that was a tag.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Sorry, Gorilla, but it only sounded cool when you said that about Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Doesn't get the same feeling for this if both Dino and Jim are pretty much the same size.
You better concentrate on Mr. Bravo.
Jesse Ventura would be great at Cinema Sins 2 expansion. Instead of immediately going after Dino, Hacksaw Jim Duggan stands around, poses, and does pretty much anything except wrestle.
First fall, like I said, that's an important fall.
That's like the 3rd time in less than 5 minutes that Jesse mentioned how the first fall of a 2 out of 3 falls match is the most important.
Nice move.
What the hell was that landed from Jacques? That's not how you land from a clothesline.
Patented maneuver.
What a teabag senton on the Hitman Bret Hart. It takes 15 minutes of pay-per-view time before WWF realizes that they forgot to show that they were live in Houston, Texas, like they normally do at the start of the show. The referee stopped counting before Bret could even kick out, so from my perspective, the Rougeaus and Dino Bravo have scored their 2nd fall and won the match. The fans are chanting USA as a way to get Bret fired up and out of the bear hug, but that chant will obviously not work on him considering he's Canadian.
Why are they chanting USA when the Hitman comes from Calgary, Canada?
Jesse was secretly the sinner of wrestling before Christian freaking Maracle was born.
Right there.
What the hell kind of position was that supposed to be? Trying to prevent Bret from completing the sunset flip pin, so I'll pretend I'm relaxing on an invisible pillow. The fuck? Wrong chant, for God's sake! Even despite the fact that it's Jimmy Hart's job to yell in his megaphone, he does realize that he's inadvertently alerting Bret about what's about to happen to him next, right?
He just catapulted the...
I'm throwing in a double sin here because Jim Duggan clearly never tagged in Jim Neidhart, and yet this pinfall was somehow legal. No tag, so the referee should be telling Jim Neidhart to get out of the ring, not count the illegal pin. Bret, you're not legal either. Jim Duggan is. Good lord, this match has gotten out of control.
Hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3, got him.
The referee clearly sped up the count at the last second, showing favoritism toward Jim Duggan and the Hart Foundation.
When you're Hacksaw Jim Duggan and you got a peanut for a brain.
That's haxist.
Look at this. I didn't see...
Getting the inverted atomic drop hit on you means you should jump as high as you can in the air, believing you can fly.
A little more. Now what do you call that?
Victory due to using weapons to your advantage behind the referee's back is always a sin. Also, the pinfall was clearly broken up before the referee could complete it, and yet he ignores it anyway. Clearly, this referee was paid in advance to help the Hart Foundation and Jim Duggan win.
For the $1 million hand.
$1 million hand.
I got something to talk to you about.
Bribing him to get in the number 30 spot. The Bushwhackers nearly destroying the tumbler in their fit to get a number out at the same time was hilarious. The Honky Tonk Man is pissed off about getting what is later revealed to be the number 11 spot. If I'm being honest, that ain't so bad. Better than getting number 1.
It's good news for bad news.
I kind of find this hilarious, considering the Honky Tonk Man pulled out number 11 and was pissed off about it. Then Bad News Brown pulls out number 13 and believes it's his lucky day. Oh wait, that's what 13 means.
Pose down!
Maybe it's because I'm a guy born in the 1990s, but what's so exciting about a pose down with wrestlers showing off their sexy bodies? Yes, I know, I said sexy, get off my case about it. The Ultimate Warrior is the Intercontinental Champion and he forgot his title belt before running out to the ring.
The first pose, little man.
Making fun of sizes.
But they've got to be fair.
They are being fair. They don't think Ravishing Rick Rude is good enough compared to the Ultimate Warrior. It has to do with their opinions, Bobby.
Anybody would know about fair play, Bobby.
Sarcasm.
Why does he have to have music when he does his poses?
Gorilla Monsoon has a point. Why does Rick get to have his theme song play when he poses, whereas Warrior poses to nothing whatsoever?
I need 15 minutes to get him ready for this one.
This segment has already been going on for 10 minutes. Why do we need to give Rick Rude an extra 15 minutes to prepare for the third pose? Also, if he needed so much time to prepare for one single pose, why didn't he do that before the damn show went on the air?
The most muscular pose. The most muscular.
Yeah, we heard it the first time. It's the most muscular pose. How many repeats do we need? And how long is this gonna take?
Buddy at home, it's me.
Since Warrior basically won 3 out of 4 poses, he pretty much won the whole contest. Congratulations, here's your prize. Let's get on with the wrestling part of this wrestling show. Screw it, here's 3 sins because this stalling of time is really pissing me off. Rick Rude attacking Warrior from behind was honestly the only entertaining part about this entire near 20-minute segment, but again I say, this went on for nearly 20 minutes. Also attacking from behind. I suppose even Rockin' Robin likes to channel her inner Ultimate Warrior. What a coincidence.
The Women's World Wrestling Federation Champion.
I think Sensational Sherry meant to say World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion because by putting women's before the name of the company, Sherry must believe that there's a separate WWF company. And no, I'm not talking about the one with the pandas. It takes nearly 30 minutes of pay-per-view time before we actually have another match take place.
Rockin' Robin's so overrated.
Judy Martin may be overrated in your opinion, but it's you who sounds like you're out of breath, and Sherry wasn't even running toward the announce booth either.
Get her!
Sensational Sherry clearly said she doesn't care who wins the women's title match, but proceeds to root for Judy anyway. Honestly, the full effect of the Boston Crab isn't even locked in, so I don't see how Judy is really affected by it.
Women's champion.
Even if you can't see it, you can clearly tell that Rockin' Robin's left shoulder is not on the canvas since she is almost entirely turned to her side. This pinfall should not qualify at all.
Gorilla, why don't you quit with the hearsay and ask the ladies?
Or you guys could call the action of the match instead of arguing. Just a suggestion.
She landed on a funny bone there and it wasn't too funny.
Wah, wah.
Look at this.
We could have a new champ.
Judy had Robin down for the count and the referee hesitated before beginning to count the pin. I hope I don't facepalm too many times tonight.
Look out.
Hey, she cheated. She put her boot right to her throat.
First of all, that wasn't a kick to Judy's throat, that was a kick to her boob. And secondly, that wasn't cheating either.
That's not right.
I'm throwing in another double sin because Judy clearly kicked out before the referee could complete the pinfall. And just like the previous match, the kick out or breakup was ignored by the official. Pre-recorded footage during the pre-recorded footage segment, and also previously on the Royal Rumble.
It's none of your business anyway.
Slick's attempt at making excuses for being busted with talking to Ted DiBiase.
He was the people's choice.
No, I don't think so.
The fans were clearly rooting for Warrior during that pose down, yet Rick believes they were still rooting for him. Is he sexy as he is stupid or something?
Accent smash because you'll be our #1.
What a coincidence considering Axe is literally the first participant in this Royal Rumble match coming up.
Who happen to be looking at the winner.
Mr. Fuji is not even competing in the Royal Rumble match, so that line is pointless.
Then who would you root for? You've got to root for one or the other, don't you?
No, she doesn't. If 2 of my favorites are the final 2 in the Royal Rumble match, I root for both of them because I will be fine with whoever wins. Elizabeth doesn't have to pick a side between Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan. Jesse Ventura sitting in a throne that's clearly not his.
Look at the look on his face. Is he happy with himself?
No, he despises being the king of the ring. Yes, he's happy with himself. Good lord.
Harley trying to dump.
Harley Race is a dick to King Haku's throne. Not that I don't blame him for attacking Haku, but the throne?
That snake.
No, Jake has the snake.
Haha, fuck you.
Cover him! Cover him!
Bobby Heenan is cheering for Harley Race despite the fact that he was accompanying Haku to the ring and clearly cheering him on earlier.
Deserve it.
Oh. Ups.
Well, that was a little awkward.
Whoa, right down to the concrete.
Harley clearly never landed on any concrete. That is obviously the blue mats. We're not stupid, we know it's obviously not concrete. King Haku wasting time posing for the audience instead of taking advantage of the fallen Harley. Harley is actually lifting Haku's shoulder off the canvas and the referee somehow doesn't see it and stop the pinfall.
It hasn't moved in the last 3.
Harley Race is some of the weirdest techniques I have ever seen. Hangs onto the ropes, flips over them, falls out of the ring on his own accord without his opponent doing anything. Is he trying to lose on purpose or something?
What does he mean we got him?
Like everybody else, I have absolutely no idea who Bobby is referring to when he says we got him, considering he's been switching sides every 10 seconds.
And the tools I need.
Brutus Beefcake mentions how the tools he needs is his 2 fists twice in the same promo. Also, over 5 minutes of more promos. I can see why WWF tried everything in their power to make this a 3-hour show, especially with only 3 matches prior to the big Royal Rumble match.
And it comes down to one man, it will be John Studd.
Spoiler alert!
You insinuating little man?
I assume Little Man is basically Mean Gene Okerlund's nickname going forward, because I think I heard it 8 times tonight.
I don't know what time I'm going to come in the ring.
Even despite the fact that every wrestler draws their number prior to the Rumble match, did Andre the Giant just not choose a number and somehow still be in the match?
A reminder, it is every man for himself.
In case you don't know how the Battle Royal type match works. Also, honestly, the only ones who need reminding about this being every man for himself are the many tag teams competing in this match.
Over the top rope and onto the floor.
Howard Finkel forgot to mention that both feet must hit the floor in order to be eliminated.
Match got number 1.
I'm sorry, but no, I don't believe that numbers 1 and 2 were drawn at random, considering the first 2 entrants are literally the entire tag team of Demolition, Axe being number 1 and Smash being number 2. Also, it's the fact that Howard remarked once again about the number being drawn at random that makes me skeptical about the draw. Also, it's the fact that Howard reminded everyone that this match was every man for himself that makes me skeptical about the draw.
And they are going at each other.
You actually expected them not to go after each other? The Royal Rumble match is every man for himself, after all.
Be interesting.
From this view, it looks like Demolition are treating the ring canvas like a trampoline.
The concrete floor.
Gorilla still doesn't realize that the concrete floor is far away from the ring and what's at ringside are soft mats.
It's a possibility.
Axe's chops are strong with the force.
Doesn't look like he's in a big hurry to get there.
Probably because Andre pulled out number 3, and when you're in that position, you still have a disadvantage in terms of surviving to the end. So Andre is smart by saving up his energy. Wait a minute, we're on the 5-second countdown already? It's only been barely a minute, not 2 minutes. I guess even in 1989, WWF wasn't specific with their countdowns. Where was that buzzer when it was Andre's turn to enter?
Whoa, Mr. Perfect's going after everybody.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
But there's nothing wrong with teaming up on a much larger wrestler in these type of matches, Gorilla. It's smart strategy.
Andre with a head.
The fact that Andre was nowhere near Mr. Perfect's head when he delivered the headbutt made Perfect's leap look very weird. Smart to try and get Andre out of the ring since he's the biggest threat in this match. But one problem, his arms are locked in the rope, so he's trapped and can't get out, which includes not being able to get out of the ring.
He flew perfectly, didn't he?
Wah, wah.
Hacksaw.
Hacksaw? Gorilla, that's not Jim Duggan at all. He already competed tonight and is not a participant in the Royal Rumble match. How do you confuse Axe with Jim at all?
Everything's legal here. You can do anything you like.
And yet, managers are barred from ringside for whatever reason, despite this match being under the anything goes rules.
A feud between these 2 guys.
Jake the Snake Roberts is not even trying to punch Andre right there. What is Andre even doing? Trying to squash the bottom rope? Jake does realize that he can simply roll over to the left and he'd be free, especially since Andre doesn't even have him trapped.
It's Baldy.
Ron Bass makes his entrance and Gorilla immediately calls him Baldy, even despite the fact that Ron is not bald whatsoever.
Michaels almost to the floor, hooked that top.
Shawn Michaels foreshadowing his double Rumble victories in about 6 years from now.
How do you know it? Could be sensational sharing.
Despite the fact that he was being sarcastic, Jesse Ventura unintentionally foreshadowed the participation of women in the Royal Rumble match. A lot of great ideas can come from a sarcastic joke. Jake Roberts returning to the ring despite the fact that he had been eliminated fair and square by Andre.
Andre's just...
Replace the snake with a spider, and I'd probably do the same thing Andre did. No joke, I got severe arachnophobia.
Andre just eliminated himself.
No, Damien did it.
I don't recall seeing the snake literally eliminate Andre. Mentally, he probably did due to Andre's fear, but physically, Andre himself gets the credit for his self-elimination.
There are no partners in the Royal Rumble.
Just like there are no Roddy Pipers, too.
Quarters it away out of there.
Nope, Ron Bass got a head start in that double suplex on Shawn. The way Butch was doing part of the Bushwhacker strut looks kinda wrong. I'm almost laughing out loud.
This is a normal Saturday night.
Jesse, January 15th, 1989 is on a Sunday, not a Saturday.
And Marty goes right to work.
If by Marty goes right to work, you mean Marty is getting his ass kicked by Ron Bass immediately upon entering, then yes, you're right, Gorilla.
Hey there.
It seems like everybody's foreshadowing everything from the future, because now we got Marty Jannetty foreshadowing Woken Matt Hardy's delete turnbuckle smashes. Is Bushwhacker Butch seriously trying to pull Greg the Hammer Valentine back into the ring? What kind of strategy is that? Over in the left part of the screen, Mr. Perfect is a dick to Shawn Michaels.
He didn't even take his sunglasses off.
What are you, the fashion police?
Every man for himself.
Please don't tell me I have to create a bonus round for a bunch of rule reminders in an event from freaking 1989. I hope not.
Go positively.
Go home, Greg. You're drunk.
He got...
Oh,
Marty Jannetty is a dick to Arn Andersons.
what do you want? wants a championship shot.
Even despite the fact that the winner of this Royal Rumble match does not get a championship shot at WrestleMania. That wasn't introduced until 1993.
By his feet.
He's holding on by his toes.
I'll go ahead and remove a sin from Marty's determination to stay in the match by hanging on with just his feet like that. In 1989, I guarantee that was the most impressive thing to see in Battle Royal survivals, even if he does get eliminated 3 seconds later.
Who's hanging on for dear life.
Tito Santana was sadly eliminated off screen.
The Bushwhacker Luke.
Bushwhacker Luke hasn't even made his appearance in the Royal Rumble yet, although what a coincidence on the next entrant. Probably should have thrown Tully Blanchard a little higher and further. That way Hulk Hogan would have succeeded in tossing him out of the match.
16 right in the kisser.
Haha, Hulk missed Bad News Brown with that chop.
And look at Savage.
Coco Beware hits a dropkick on Bushwhacker Luke and could possibly have kicked him out of the ring, but then the camera switched to Randy Savage hanging on at the wrong time.
Oh, and he's back with it.
I calculated the time for the Warlord's 2-second elimination, and it's a shocker. Turns out he still holds the record for the shortest time of the Royal Rumble match, even despite Santino Marella's elimination 20 years later. Reminder, your time starts when both of your feet touch the ring canvas and ends when both your feet touch the floor. Here's a recap of Santino's elimination from the 2009 Royal Rumble Sins. And if you don't believe me, check this out. I counted from the moment Santino entered the ring to the moment his feet touched the ground. And now here is the time length of the Warlord.
Steps in. Oh, and he's back with a 360.
As you see, Santino lasted 2.1 seconds, whereas Warlord lasted 2.0 seconds. So all these years, the Warlord is still the record holder of shortest time in the Royal Rumble. Everything else was a lie.
Look at this. And the Hulk.
I suppose this is the beginning of the wrestler eliminates his own partner in the Royal Rumble match cliche. I shoved you, slapped you, and blamed you for eliminating me, but let's shake hands because it was all a prank. Or was it?
Big Boss Man has been.
Walking around in circles 40 minutes into this 1 hour long match.
The Hulkster's been out there for a half hour.
A half hour? Hulk Hogan entered at number 18, whereas Big Boss Man entered at number 22 just now. Hulk hasn't even been in the ring for 10 minutes.
Big splash.
Big Boss Man clearly saw Hulk move out of the way, but proceeded to continue splashing the canvas.
He telegraphed that move.
Where was the countdown? I heard the buzzer, but did the people backstage forget to place the countdown on the screen?
Oh, look at that power display.
Well, we see Hulk slam Andre the Giant nearly 2 years prior to this, so are we really surprised that he can do the same thing to Hakeem?
Oh, look at this. The Hulk.
Post-elimination assault.
I'm going back here now.
Hulk thinks he can go back into the Rumble match despite being eliminated fair and square by Hakeem and Big Boss Man. Hey, Randy Savage didn't make much of a big deal, why can't you?
Whoa.
Elimination at the hands of somebody who was already eliminated is always a sin.
You see Hakeem get rid of the Red Rooster?
All Hakeem did was body slam the Red Rooster. He didn't get rid of him at all, considering Rooster's still legal in the match. I really don't see how Hakeem is stuck here, considering his arms are not locked into the ropes like Andre's were earlier.
Well, that was kind of stupid. If he'd have helped out, he could have got rid of Hakeem.
Gorilla Monsoon would be great at Sins 2 expansion.
Brunei punch.
Bruno? There was no Bruno in this match, Gorilla.
He's not in any hurry to get down there either.
In other words, Big John Studd is one of the smartest wrestlers in this match, not wasting his energy. Probably a factor to his victory. Would you really expect him to waste his energy running, Gorilla? How about instead of telling the fans that he's going to throw out Hakeem, Big John Studd just eliminates him and doesn't alert Hakeem about what's coming.
There he is. 2 guys left. Virgil, too.
Jesse doesn't realize that Ted DiBiase is the remaining participant left and believes that Virgil is potentially the non-existent 31st entrant.
Oh, Virgil might be 31.
Sarcastic joke accidentally foreshadows the 40-man Royal Rumble match 22 years later.
Whoa.
Oh, Rooster out of there.
Red Rooster decides he's had enough and eliminates himself from the Royal Rumble match, and yet Ted is the one who gets the credit. Begging for mercy.
Every man for himself.
Shut up.
Oh,
Look at that Hakeem.
Many wrestlers have tried to eliminate Hakeem throughout this match and failed every single time, but one single punch to the back was apparently all that was needed to be done to eliminate him. Wow. As a congrats to Big John Studd being the first winner of the 30-man Royal Rumble match and the first of 4 wrestlers to win from the number 27 spot, here's a few sins removed.
Down Virgil from behind.
And to end this video, post-match assault.